Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back and nice to see you again. Today, I want to talk about a very important topic that I feel relates to this channel and it relates to me. And that topic is pretty much about white privilege. Now, before you leave this video, I want you to know that I am not here to attack you if you are white, and I'm not here to discredit what's actually going on in the United States. In fact, I want to acknowledge the recent events that have been going on for this past week, but we all know it's not just this past week. Especially if you are a person of color, this has been going on pretty much your whole life, and probably it even extends to your parents, grandparents, and ancestors due to the presence of white supremacy, racism, abuse of power, and the silencing of the voices of people of color. I wanted to address this topic in this channel because, in my opinion, I want to be Captain Obvious here for a second. I work with an Egyptian god who belongs to a land where people of color are most dominant. Now, Egypt, let's be Captain Obvious. Egypt is part of Africa, if you did not know. But again, I'm being Captain Obvious here because I want to make a clear point. There has been an influx of white people becoming interested in religious practices and spiritual belief systems that belong to people of color. And there are some practices that are closed off to people who are not born in that land. Such as voodoo, for example, if I am not mistaken, and Santeria and Palo Mayombe as well, if I'm not mistaken. These are practices that are usually exclusive to certain countries, to certain people, whether it's due to their bloodline, place of origin, or all the above, and other options that I may be forgetting right now. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this topic to this channel is due to the recent events that have been going on. And I want to say that I, Zion Zeta, under the brand of Shrine of Anubis, I stand with my people of color, with my friends, with my neighbors, and with anybody that comes across this video. If you follow my work, whether here or on my podcast, whatever you find me and my work, if you follow me, I am a supporter of Black Lives Matter. And the reason why I support Black Lives Matter is because I feel that people of color deserve to be treated as human beings. They deserve to exist in peace. And I also want to take a stand and admit and face that I do have white privilege. And unfortunately, I will not be able to ever experience the same level of discrimination and abuse that the people of color face day to day. This is not something that happens only one time at some point in your life. This is something that is present every single day in the lives of these people. What does white privilege mean? White privilege means that your skin color is not an issue or an extra obstacle in your life. It doesn't mean that you, as a white person, have it easy in life, except that your skin will not prevent you from getting a job or going somewhere or simply minding your business in your life. Technically, that is a privilege due to the systematic racism that has been put in place for decades, if not centuries. So, the reason why I wanted to bring up this topic in this channel is because if you love Anubis, if you love Egypt, if you love knowing about Kemeticism, do help these people who are fighting to exist in peace. Be a voice, be supportive. Do not try to take over what they are doing. Be an ally, but let them speak. Let them express themselves. Let them share their experiences with you. Do not listen to respond, but listen to absorb. And I know that some white people tend to get offended when I bring up the topic of white privilege, and it's not an attack, but rather something for you to be aware of and why they want you to be aware of this. People of color are not attacking you for having white privilege, but instead, what they're trying to do is to open up your eyes to the reality of the system that we all live in and how you can best utilize your privilege to be their ally. I have been in a lot of arguments with people that I thought they were friends, but they have been actually super ignorant about everything. They tried to gaslight me, to say that, oh, I am racist because I don't like cops that kill people of color, or some bullshit going on. And I cannot believe the stupidity that I have seen this weekend alone. It's so bad that I had someone say it's a psyop or false flag, false operation, something that is staged to cause a racial war. And I'm like, the war that they have been trying to end in the first place. And of course, my friends, quote unquote, do not like confrontation. But I really wanted to bring this up because I do know that many of you are white people who felt attracted to me, whether it's because of my personality or because I work with Anubis or whatnot. It doesn't really matter. The reason is that you're still here. And because you're here, I want you to know that you have the power of privilege, but you also have the power to utilize that privilege for the greater good. And if you do not want to be involved in the protests that are going on and everything that's been happening outside, it's okay. You don't have to. But you can be a voice. You can fight along with them and talk to your governor, talk to your mayor, demand justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. I am mispronouncing his name, I am sure of that. And countless of other people of color who have died unjustly in the hands of those who are meant to serve and to protect. But if you are a white person and you honor an African practice and belief system, because again, I'll be Captain Obvious, Egypt is part of Africa, and do you see where I'm trying to get at here? Because I don't really want to be too direct about it, but I guess I'll just be direct about it. A lot of people love voodoo, Palo Mayombe, Egypt, the Egyptian gods, but when it comes to fighting for equality and justice and punishing racial crimes, nobody says anything. And that really pisses me off, because how can you work with these gods and see what's happening and not be enraged about it and do something about it? You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go out there. You can just simply voice your truth, share what's going on, share stories of real people of color, interact with them, listen to them, understand your privilege, understand your position, understand how you can help, sign petitions, donate to the fundings of funerals if you can. There are so many ways that we can help and be allies. And remember, remaining neutral is taking the side of the oppressor. And you might think, but aren't you being racist against white people? That is one that I got the other day when I was attacking cops for their unnecessary murders. You cannot be racist towards cops, the corrupted kind of cops that abuse their power and take advantage of those people. If it makes me racist to stand up and be on the side of the people of color and to demand equality and justice, I'm glad to be one. I don't give a fuck. If you think about it, that is the most stupidest, dumbest argument I've ever had to deal with when it comes to someone with white privilege. So there are people who are not aware of their privilege. They don't give a fuck of what has happened. They are just bootlickers. There is nothing that you can do about those people. However, there will be people out there who will be open-minded, and that includes you if you are white. And if you are still watching this video, I congratulate you and I have hope in you, because you are understanding and you are open-minded and you kind of see where I am coming from with this topic. It's not an attack, but rather to voice a concern and a call to action to be an ally. If you were once unaware of what white privilege is, now you are. White privilege means that your skin color is not an extra issue in your life, in your workplace, in your social life. When you go out at night especially, you can go walk alone and nothing will happen to you. That is white privilege. And there is so much more I could get into when it comes to this, but I won't. I do understand that some people of color do not like white people involved, because I understand. White people have colonized everything, so I understand that some do not want us to be involved in these type of movements. So I definitely understand that, but I want to make clear that I, Zion Zeta, and the Shrine of Anubis, we stand with Black Lives Matter. There is a difference between white supremacy and white privilege. White privilege doesn't mean that your life is not hard. It just means that your skin color is not an extra issue and an extra obstacle in your life. You won't get killed for walking alone at night. You won't have cops breaking into your home in the middle of the night to see if you've got drugs in your home simply because of your skin color and living in a sketchy neighborhood. You won't be killed for going to a store to buy something and have your check or the money bounce and then be accused of trying to steal from that store, if that makes sense. White privilege means that your life is still hard, it's still difficult, but your skin color is not adding up more to it. And the difference when it comes to white supremacy, in a nutshell, white supremacists are Nazis. White supremacists believe that they are superior and above people of color. This, in my opinion, white supremacy is a mental illness. But I wanted to address this topic with all of you tonight because if you are a white person who adores Egypt, who adores voodoo, Palo Mayombe, or other spiritual beliefs, or even religions that are from African people or other people of color from other places around the world, do not be blind to what is going on right now. We need you to be a voice, to be an ally, and to support the movement of Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter does not mean that no other lives matter. But I find it funny that all lives matter until Black Lives Matter. And this is another very popular argument that I have gotten in my private page from white people. Surprise! And that's not what this movement is about. This movement is about acknowledging the systematic racism that is present and the abuse of power towards people of color by these police officers or other people with high ranks within the government or the justice system and so forth. It's about bringing awareness that these lives also matter. So it's not about only Black Lives Matter, but it's about realizing that they have not mattered because there has not been justice. There has not been punishments. And I'm getting a little bit fired up here, and I don't want to. I want to try to stay neutral, but being neutral has not helped to bring change. And so I am opening my heart out to all of you today in hopes that you take this video not as an attack if you are a white person, but rather as a wake-up call to be aware and to be informed and be vigilant. And if you have friends of color or neighbors, keep an eye out on them, check in on them. And if you see something sketchy going on in the streets, you see cops detaining a person of color, step in. Because you might be saving a life, and you probably are saving one. I have not liked what I have seen recently, or even for the past few years, but in my mind, I would think to myself, well, I am white. I should not get involved because people of color are going to hate me because they're going to think that I want to colonize things or take control or something. But remaining silent and remaining neutral about all the violence, all the injustice, and all the suffering that's going on, remaining silent and remaining neutral has not helped to change things at all. And what that shows me to myself is that I am taking the side of the oppressor, and I do not want to play that role. I want to invite my friends of color, if you follow this channel, if you enjoy my work, feel free to let me know what sources you would like me to read to be more informed about this topic and how I can be of service. And yeah, let's have a talk. Let's exchange opinions and let's unite. Let's talk and see how we can best help each other and how we white people can help you to have equality in the sense of being able to exist without being a target. Unfortunately, I, as a white presenting person, will not be able to relate to many of your struggles, but I do want to know your point and to have your view and to listen to what you have to say or read what you have to write. So do not feel shy about approaching me. If you want to talk, I will be more than happy to be all ears for you and hear you out. And do know that Zion Zeta, the Spiritual Alien Podcast, and the Shrine of Anubis, we all stand with Black Lives Matter, and this is a safe space for you to be in. And it is my hope that justice is served. So I wanted to thank you all so much for taking out the time to watch this video, and I stand with all of you. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.